So basically, I've been thinking about this subject for a little while now, but the last week or two has been on my mind a lot more due to certain things that have happened recently in the hobby slash industry slash whatever you want to call it. And I'm on my way to the Daytona show right now as I'm filming this because I got bored in the car, so I figured, why not? So, we all know that there's some issue, no, I'm not gonna say issue, there's a lot of controversy around the scaleless ball python now, and the thing is that what I want to talk about is not just about that animal, it's about just, I think the snake community, but mostly the ball python community in general. This is an incredible sense of entitlement for information from, with all the people in the hobby, and it's incredible. And I'll give you some examples. Back when the Core Globe banana issues or secrets or whatever it was, people that had absolutely nothing to do with that project were absolutely demanding information from the people that were invested and they had the animals. Emails and phone calls and messages asking how many did you produce and how many out there, and are they really only producing females, are they really only producing males, and all that stuff. And the biggest problem with it is that nobody really asks nicely. They're all pretty aggressive about it and rude, like the people that are actually working with the project owe them something, which they don't. So then fast forward to, for example, the Sunset project, Broadchick's Sunset project, and so that's a recessive gene, and it was really well known when Brock Wagner and Brad Boa teamed up and bought one of those, and so everybody was super excited that it's out of that one place, and so other people are working with it, and so we'll see combos and everything else. I bet you it wasn't 5-6 months before people were already demanding to see Sunset combos, and they bought a visual male, and people already wanted to see combos of a recessive gene within 5 or 6 months. And obviously nobody has them to show, so automatically, there's a problem with the gene and you can't reproduce it and this, and people just start talking, and it's just amazing. So that's the same thing that's happened with the Scaleless project, with the issues with that, where people that either don't have the money to get into it, me included, I don't have $50,000 or even $20,000 just to throw at these things, but people that aren't interested in it, don't have the money to buy it, they just don't like it. I've seen people that say that they don't like it, but they still want to know where they are, how many are being produced, who's producing them, what's going on with them, and again, that sense of entitlement that comes across when they ask for this information is incredible. Who are you, or who do you think you are to message, let's say Brian Barcia, he's the one that originated that project, and he's working with it, supposedly the most right now, or should be anyways. If you didn't spend $50,000 on the animal, if you don't like him, or even if you do, but you're not even thinking or considering buying into it, what gives you the right to message this guy all aggressively and ask him for information on the second scaleless ball python, where is it? And the mother, and how come he's not making more? What's going on? You don't have the right to do that. I've never asked him where these things are because I know that I don't have the right to ask that question. Now, I do agree that in the course of all this stuff happening, the right people did ask the questions, and they still weren't answered. That's a whole different problem altogether. But if I call Brian right now and say, hey Brian, I want to see where the female scaleless is that you hatched, I want to know where it is right now, he can tell me to go kick rocks, and there's nothing I can do about it because I didn't give him any money. I don't have that animal, whether I got it from him or somebody else, I don't have it at all. So, and I'm not looking to buy any, seriously right now, so why would he answer who am I? Then people start saying, well, the hobby is, we need to know, we should have all this information. No, you don't. Shut up. You want to know the information? Send him a check for 50 grand with a list of the questions that you want answered before he can cash it. And then you have the right to ask the questions. Other than that, shut up. You really don't have the right to. When Sean Bradley did his podcast asking the questions, he has the right to, because we all saw the invoice. He's paid $50,000 to Mike Wilbanks for one of those animals. And I personally believe that when he asked the question, Brian should have answered it. Because it's his project, you should back it up and you should give the information to the people that believe in it and put their money where their mouth is. But he still had a little wiggle room there, and he could have just said, well, you didn't buy it from me, so I don't have to answer to you. And that's it. Now, I'm not saying that I agree with that. I think that once Sean asked the questions, they should have been answered then and there. But that was not the case. But like I said, there's a little bit of wiggle room there. You can still kind of get out of that one. Then when Wilbanks asked the same questions, that's a whole another story. And I don't know if Wilbanks got the answer that he wanted or not, because I do believe that even though the question was posted publicly, the answer didn't have to be. You know, it could very well be that, you know, Brian called him up and said, hey, you have these questions, here are the answers. Because you're an investor, you're working on the project, you have the right to know exactly what's going on so that you can pass that on to your clients and so on and so forth. It doesn't have to be posted on a silly post on Facebook. It doesn't have to be. And it's just like we all, I'm not going to say you, because I've done it in the past and I catch myself. We all need to get out of that mentality where we deserve to know. You don't deserve to know crap. You need to know information on projects that you're involved in or that you're seriously considering getting involved in, because that's, you know, that makes sense. But, you know, people that have no inclination towards buying a Sunset but want to see all the combos because they demand to see them right now, no. You know, if Brad Bowe and Brock want to keep them on the wraps, they can. Now that they're not doing that. I mean, we just saw the I think it was a Black Pastel or Cine Sunset combo. Looks pretty. But if they don't want to show it, they don't have to. I mean, why? Now, if I call Brock and say, hey, Brock, I'm thinking about buying one of your Sunsets or a pair of heads or whatever it is, can you show me what you've done with it so I can have a better idea? Then yeah, that's reasonable. But I'm nobody. I can't just go on his Facebook wall and just say, hey, I demand to see the combos right now because I'm part of the hobby, so I want to know exactly what's going on. Nah, man, just get out of here with that. You don't have the right to do that. And so I think we need to change that mentality where we just ask. No, we don't ask. We demand answers on things that we really have no business asking. So that was my little rant. I just wanted to talk about that a little bit because it's getting really annoying. I mean, we all need to just settle down with that. If there's 1,000 scaleless heads out there and some guy wants to pay all the money in the world for it, for one of them, without doing his research, that's on him. You know, if I get that money together and I want to buy one, I'll do all my research. I'll ask the right questions. I'll get all my answers before I write that check. Until I'm ready to do so, I'm not going to call Sean Bradley. You know, he's my friend. I consider him a friend. I talk to him regularly and everything, and we get along great. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to just for no reason, hey, I'm just curious, how many scaleless heads did you make this year? How many combos? What exactly is going on with it? You know what, send me a spreadsheet with all that information, because I deserve to know, because I'm part of this hobby, and so that's what I demand. I would never do that because I don't have the right to do such a thing, and neither do any of you. So basically, cut the crap and stop demanding things that you don't really need to know. You know, I almost feel bad for Barchik. I mean, it's gotta suck to have so many people attacking you and then you get all the bandwagon. Everybody just piles up on top of it. You start, hey, it's time to bash on this guy, so let's all do it. And it really stinks when I see that happening. But I mean, I almost feel bad for him. I mean, it's entertaining. It's still fun to read. I like doing that part of it because it's like a big soap opera and whatever, with a bunch of grown people fighting over little worms that are worth thousands of dollars. That's always amusing. But I think we should all back off a little bit. And when you pile on somebody like that, all you're doing is making them defensive and not willing to give the information, because now they just backed into a corner and they have no other way to go but to attack. And I think that if we settle down a little bit and just let the right people ask the questions and make it public as they see fit, that we would be doing a lot better. We'd get a lot more information that way. And that's basically it. You know, if you don't agree with what I'm saying or with my point of view on this, you know, they always say if the shoe fits,